Hello, welcome to the 10th episode of Beyond the Haze. This is the final one for season 1. We can't thank you enough for joining along with us and listening, but we got one more dope one left for you. So sit back, relax, and let's do this one last time.
Metaflora Unfiltered presents Beyond the Haze. Welcome to Metaflora Unfiltered. Unfiltered. Trip. Cannabis.
Metaphora unfiltered flow. Canna cause crypto, let 'em know. Gather chain 3 times, let's go. Get the smoke rolling up, start the show. Metaphora unfiltered flow. Canna cause crypto, let 'em know.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Beyond the Haze episode 10. This is our final episode of the season, and we've had a great one with you guys. We had so many amazing guests, from activists to the next big thing in cannabis and musicians from A to Z. It's been amazing.
In space, man.
Oh, I almost
Yeah, and a
forgot.
lot of space.
Lots
A
of
lot of
space.
space.
That's because space bar, right?
That's
Lots
the
of space.
touch.
The space bar.
It's the touch that I like to bring.
That's next. We're gonna open a space bar.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Coming
Beyond
soon.
the Haze space bar.
Mm.
I like it.
I'm
Future
already
plans.
stoned, as you can tell. I'm already celebrating episode 10.
Yeah, man, it's
Man.
crazy. That's a full season like that.
That's
Blink of an
nuts.
eye.
Yeah, it went by way too quick.
It did.
Way
Well,
too
you know,
quick,
good
guys.
things happen like that. It's if it went by slow, that wouldn't have been good.
Yeah, for sure. There was a lot of information packed in there. I know it, but it happened so quick putting it together. But you guys had said, you want it to be informational, educational.
Yeah, I've caught myself watching a few of the interviews back, and even though we were doing the interviews, I still found more information when I watched them a second or a third time than I did even doing the interviews. You get reminded of things, and you're like, "Oh yeah."
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty cool to go back. Some of you, if you while you're waiting for us to upload episode 1 of season 2, jump back in and give a rewatch on some of these, and you'd be surprised at some of the stuff that you missed. Mind blowing.
Yeah, I just went back to episode 2 with Peter Reynolds. That was a
Yeah.
great episode.
Yeah, amazing. Some legends and future legends that we've had on an episode or in season 1. All the way from as far back as you can go, as far as activists go, all the way right up until today's cutting edge stuff all over the world. To the Pico stuff. The Pico stuff is still
Yeah.
my brain is still buzzing just from that episode. I'm blown away by it still.
That's
I know.
that'll be a fun one for season 2, just to hear the advancements and some sort of follow up on where that's going, because like you said, it's just nuts.
Absolutely, and the musical guests. I mean,
Yeah.
it's going to be great to follow them again in season 2 and give updates on where their careers are going and advancing, because there was some hot stuff we had so far, and we got
Yeah.
some good music coming up today too. Who's our musical guest later?
Yeah, today is actually our first non-gala musical artist, I believe. Dope Knife, a rapper out of Georgia. He's been doing it for a long time. I've got some, I used to make music with him 20 plus years ago. He's been
Right on.
grinding ever since, and hopefully got some new stuff coming up. But yeah, he's going to be on today. Learn a little bit about his story, his jive, and he can hopefully learn about ours. I think it'd be a good fit moving forward for some collab work and stuff. So looking
Sweet.
forward to that one.
I had a birthday between the last recording and now, and Mrs. Claus had a ring made for me. I don't know. We'll see if we can get it put up here so
I
you
got the
can see
diamond
it.
on there. I see the diamond.
I see
Yeah,
something
she had.
coming. Oh yeah, look at that.
Look at that. It says
That's awesome.
claws
That's pretty slick.
on there.
Nice.
So yeah, she had it custom made down at the jeweler. Mrs. Claus always full of surprises. So now I got my own hip hop gangster Claus ring.
Well, happy belated birthday there, Santa Claus.
Thanks, man. I'm
Yeah,
496 as of last week,
Looking good.
or 1400. I don't know, something like that. Anyway,
Lost track.
I got to call my brother and ask him. He tells me not to tell anyone how old I am because he's the same age as me. And he doesn't like to tell how old he is. So, but yeah, we're gonna do season 2. I think we'll do an interview. My brother wants to come on here and do an interview with
Okay.
us.
Yeah, we definitely gotta line that up.
Has reached out. He wants to spill some of the beans on the family history and show baby pictures of me or something. I don't know. But, I don't know what he's up to, but he wants to come on the show, and I think that would be great.
Yeah, as long as he's got access to the Master Kush Ultra.
Oh, he's got access to everything. He flies around pretty quick, right? So we'll make sure we order him some just in case. We'll get a hold of Jeff and his lovely wife and have them. At least we'll get him a cart. That honey oil cart.
That's right.
That stuff is.
Yeah, I follow them on X, and I saw they just did a harvest. It looks like it's just this big.
Yeah, that's what's
bags
great
just-
about watching their X account. They're just constantly
Yeah.
harvesting.
Constantly.
Yeah,
all
one
of a
room
sudden,
to the next room.
Oh,
and,
I'm harvesting again. Take a look, and you're like,
Take a
wait,
look
I
at
barely
these
just logged into
giant
flowering
sacks.
pictures.
and if you remember back when we interviewed him, he spoke about a new strain that was coming,
Mm-hmm.
and he's since posted about that, and they're seeking a name for it. I can't remember exactly what the cross is. It comes from a legend in BC that is a legend in BC, but that makes him kind of a legend in the game, right? A breeder. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but go to X and check out Smoker Farms page, folks. They got a good contest to try out this what to name this new strain. It's I've looked at the two names and I can't really do the I was trying to find a great name for it, and there's nothing that jumps out from the one name and the other to put them together. So it kind of looks like one of those ones you got to make up on your own.
Well, hey, a new strain, a new brand,
Yeah,
a new
and
peg.
I have to get him listed in the Metaflora bank with his strains and his new strain. And
Yeah, it's coming soon to be able to be doing that on your own. He can always reach out to me directly, and we can manually onboard in the current moment right now. We should definitely hit him up and see if we can
Yeah,
make
you
that
gotta
happen.
get that.
yeah, for sure, that's a great idea. Good idea,
Yeah.
Jeff. If you're watching, you know what to do.
You'll
And
hear
Jeff-
from me. You'll be in your DMs. Give me a week.
Yeah. So, what was your? We'll ask each of you. What was your favorite moment so far of season 1?
I have, for me, all right. I have, I mean, I have quite a few. I think every single episode has its moments. We had, the New Year's party with all the gala music artists.
Yeah.
That was surely super fun. The cannabis tourism in Slovenia really hits home with me. Building out
Sure.
Elysium and seeing the architecture that he had placed all over his property, and that he built it himself, 100% Slovenian wood. I was like, dude, this guy gets it. This is exactly where we're headed,
Yeah.
But my favorite, I really appreciated my conversations with Yohai. I think we took Beyond the Haze in a different avenue on this episode, and I hope to hear a lot more from him in the coming future here. Little Birdie told me that there's something in the books coming up here soon. So let's see if
Very
it all
nice.
can come to fruition here.
That was pretty monumental stuff.
Yeah, yeah, it was.
Yohai is another one we're gonna have to revisit. You know, not a whole episode necessarily, right? But definitely a an update during an episode next year. Who knows? Maybe he's got more to fill up another whole episode because that guy is interesting on top of interesting on top of interesting. So
That's right.
Yeah, yeah. I not to sound like a broken record, but I kind of echo as far as episodes go. Yohai was the one where it was just like, like you said, it's just his story's fascinating. The way he tells it is fascinating, and his knowledge bank is clearly extremely vast. So that's the type of guy you just want to sit and ask questions to and listen to for a long time. I really enjoyed obviously the artist side of things. It was cool to see. I think the fusion of the cannabis and the music came together nicely overall on
absolutely.
just the entire template of the podcast, and it was a nice turn, and everyone complimented the episodes really well. Dropout was awesome. I love his music. I love his vision for the future. I would kill to see his live show. That's something hopefully happens in the near future.
Yeah, introducing gaming into an album is
Yeah, absolutely, man.
incredible.
Yeah, he sounds like that. A live show for him is something that if you get the opportunity, that is something that a must experience, right? Like,
Yeah, for sure.
I would travel to go and see the art that he puts into that because it sounds mind boggling. You know.
How
I
about
guess
for you, Clark? What was stand out
guess
for
for
you
me,
this season?
I have such a strong interest in medicine, the medicinal side of cannabis, that it's got to be the pico and
Mm.
the whole ability to manipulate the shape of the cannabinoids so that
Hmm.
they become water soluble and fit through that screen, and the the niche market that it avoids going through full FAA or FDA approval. I mean FAA. That's the THC one. You need FAA for that one, but FDA approval for is not really required. Up here, it would be. So it's that loophole that they're able to run the tests and the stuff that he was saying. It he's seen it do. I'm not going to say that it does because I'm not allowed to. That the
Right.
stuff that they have seen it done and that people have anecdotally said that it does, simply mind blowing. Um, I do want to. It reminds me that I think his 5 or 6 days for his big announcement that he talked about on the show are long gone now, and we should jump onto his page at some point and see what that big announcement was that they were going to make. Yeah, we've been so busy doing things and everything. That slipped my mind too to jump back and have a look
We're
there.
gonna have updates from them very soon. I've been going back and forth in the DMs talking, and
Excellent.
Nice.
yeah, because I'm hoping to get hooked up to the CBD Pico myself coming up in the next couple months here.
You
So
have to video that.
I should, right?
Yeah, you should document that, and we have to air it on the show next season. Your experience, and then that way you can show people exactly how easy, difficult, whatever it is, and then you can talk about your experience because
Exactly.
it's a firsthand thing.
Hmm.
We don't have that ability here, but
I have a feeling it's coming soon.
yeah,
It
it
could be.
probably is. And it'd be nice to. Apparently, there's going to be some arriving somewhere here for me. He asked for my address. I know that. So, um, it I think that would be my the one that stuck with me the most. But they all did. The fact that all the whole going to space to test it to make sure that it can be used to go to Mars to help colonize Mars. Um,
Hmm.
things we thought about, I've thought about that would be great for them to do. And someone there picked up that baton and realized that the way to repeat creating a civilization is to look at the one that we have now and see how it started, right? So cultivating cannabis seeds, we know humans were cultivating it 6,000 years before Christ.
Right.
Or BC. All right, before current, I guess they call it, right? Because they made it anyway. So that's 8,000 years ago. We were sticking those seeds in the dirt, going, "Hey, Gromies, come here, man. Is this ready yet?" No, needs cow mag. Anyway, that was one thing I will say we didn't touch on very much. I think next season I would like to do maybe just a quick 10 or 15-minute little snippet on growing.
Yeah, for sure.
People have asked me about that, and I think I'd like to, or we could do something together, growing or processing or something about the actual cannabis plant itself. Maybe a quick thing on making bubble hash or
the life cycle would be nice.
the life cycle. Yeah, we can do a little every episode. I can pop into the tent and show where we are. So if you guys are down with that,
I think that's a great idea.
Maybe I can crack some seeds for episode 1.
Yeah,
and we can see where we go through the season. It might have to carry through 2 seasons. Who knows? But
what we'll have to do then is we'll have to line you up through the Metaflora marketplace, so you can get your seeds through there, and then log your grow journal through Metaflora, and we can we can trace it through Beyond the Haze as well. Would be fun.
Sure. I have enough.
I like that.
I have enough seeds that I really, if I just grew what I have, I probably am good for another 25 years, and I really don't expect to be living another 25 years, enough to be growing, because I'll be 90 then, I think 80. Who knows? I might be still growing at 80. I mean, Cheech and Chong are in their 80s, right? So
yeah,
it'll be all
definitely
automatic
grow at
by
80.
then anyway.
Pretty much
Everything
is
will be
now,
automated.
isn't it? Yeah.
Can you still use the scissors or a lighter?
Theory, grow me some roadkill skunk, please. How many seeds would you like germinated? 4. Yeah, probably. And we'll be in space doing it too, on top of that.
Yeah,
exactly. You'll be frozen in a pod on your way out.
Yeah. Who knows? I mean, 20 years ago, we didn't have this stuff, man. We didn't have rosin, resin, diamond, sauce. We didn't have it. It didn't exist. Not that, I mean, it may have, but it was in very small circles.
It's insane, man. I can't even believe that where we're at today in this industry. How it went like this, just like flip on a dime on.
I know. Look at that, right? That's
bring this back to 1986 and watch what happens. You get beat up. Don't give me that heroin shit. What is this? No, that's cannabis. That ain't fucking weed. No.
That ain't weed.
Tastes like strawberry shortcake.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
right.
That's what this one happens to be.
That's the truth.
Is it really?
Yeah, strawberry. I got sent some. I won a prize on X, and this company sent me all of their stuff, from what I can tell. Like,
that's awesome.
4 disposable pens. I will say I'm not a fan of the disposable pen. I'm not a disposable guy. I'm a hippie, right? Reduce, reuse, recycle, and this thing does none of those. Right? But I don't think you can get it. But the whole vape thing is what, 7 years now? 8 maybe at the most. it's not even 10 years old that people have been hitting
That's
vape
probably
carts for
right in
weed.
line with the.
Probably around. I mean, it depends on how you see it. Like the first one that hit the market was definitely over 10 years ago,
Was it?
Yeah,
but it as a
Oh, that's true. Because
normalcy has probably been about that time.
there was load your
yeah.
own ones that you could get, right?
Yes, load your own.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but
I'd say about that 8-year mark is when I first was exposed to it. I remember. I mean, I still remember hitting my first pen. It just was like, first off, what the fuck is this? And you
yeah,
hit it,
right.
and then it just a whole different high. Where all of a sudden I happened to be at a graduation party. It was one of those moments where I'm like, just stay on your feet, just stay standing.
You remember doing
Fade,
your
Yeah,
first
at
dab?
least
fade into this corner.
and that's what I was going to
This
say.
is good.
At least the vape is a little bit more mellow. The dab, the first time you dab, that's
No,
you-
God, yeah,
You
no,
remember
yes, I
doing your
remember.
first dab?
Yes,
Let's
course,
hear
how
that
can you-
story, Spacebar.
it was at a coworker's house. Luckily, after work, and
Okay.
he had properly prepared. This is before I was married, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Just properly prepared me for and I'd been smoking a ton at this point, but I never had hit the dab. So yeah, we had nothing to go on that night, and thank God we didn't, man, because holy shit. Again, it's just those times where you're like, you smoke so much and you think you've kind of experienced every type of high, and all of a sudden that just
I was
blows all boundaries away.
my
puts you
first
puts you in
dab.
a chair for a long time.
Yeah, I hear you. My first dab was we went to see a friend of mine's band play called Road Waves.
Huh.
And if you've watched any of my 468 or listened to any of my 4680Q Canna Claus and Bud shows that we did where you found me, they played the theme song for that. So they're like a jam band,
Okay.
and it was an intimate and interactive kind of show where you had to be invited. There were only maybe 50 people there. It was for somebody's birthday, and it was in in kind of a loft apartment. And Marilyn Henderson and her husband were out in the stairwell with the fucking rig and the blowtorch, heating up the thing. And like, why are you out here?
Mhm.
Because it's just dark enough we can see how red the this was before anyone was pointing their fucking their temperature gauges, right?
Oh,
You
yeah.
gotta wait for it to stop being red, and then you count to 8, and then you're good. And I'm like, okay. And she's like, "You ready?" I'm like, "Oh, okay." And she explained it to me like it's a hash. It's like a,
Yeah.
she said it's a butane extract, and I said, "Oh, that's prison." Because back in the day, that was what they did in prison. Was they used you could smoke cigarettes, right? So you could have a lighter in prison, and you could have butane, but they couldn't make hash, so they used butane to make honey oil, and they were making, but they weren't purging it or anything, like just spraying it into a metal bowl or onto the floor and then scraping it up, right? So I was like, okay, I know what you're talking about, and I didn't know what she was talking about. I had an idea, but my first dab, because she knew who I was and knew my tolerance level, she gave me a choker.
Yeah.
My right eyeball popped an inch and a half out of my head. I turned
Yeah, but your
purple.
flower tolerance and your extract tolerance is not the same.
But I had a great night. No, it's not. And
Nope.
I sat there and I jammed all night, and I was like, I need another day. I couldn't believe. I was just like, wow, I have never experienced this. And that's only maybe 10 years, right? 10, 11
Yeah.
years ago,
all right.
maybe, that people were rocking. Maybe a little bit longer. I don't know. Time speeds up when you get the gray, right? But oil we always had, hash we always had, and flour we always had. But these concentrates, something else. What you rolling up there?
Yeah, I smoke bubble hash. That, and if I change to flour, I get like zonked, you know. But
just
if I
kidding.
have no bubble hash and I switch to flower, as soon as I get the bubble hash back, I'm like, it does it all over again, you know? And if I take a dab, forget about it, you know? But there was definitely a time period where I only dabbed, I only did wax and shatters and stuff. But what I really like about obviously it's another product line attached to cannabis. That's the best part. But the glass rigs that come out of it and the explosion of the necessity in having to smoke it this way is like gave a rebirth into the glass artistry sector of the industry.
Sure.
And
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
it. I've collected glass for, since the beginning of my introduction to cannabis, and
Yeah.
that's a hobby of mine. And so going forward, looking at what's come out of, we always talk about all these different product lines and stuff like this, but the glass artists are stepping their game up so much. Where you go to a gallery these days. We actually have galleries these days, and it's like you go there and you're like,
Yeah.
are you sure I'm allowed to smoke out of that? You know,
Yeah, right.
they're so incredible.
Some of it's incredible. It's like the
It's
guys who roll
absolutely
the
insane.
joints that, you know, look like Homer Simpson or something. And you're like, and then they're like, here, fire this up. And they throw you a fucking pinata, basically, filled with weed.
Yeah, right. Do those all the time. We're just like, how? What?
What do I smoke? The fucking tail, the horn, one of the feet? What's going on here? You stick your face on the ass and light all the feet and the horn. Oh, okay. Yeah, and like you say, the pipes. I don't own any headies. I guess that's what you call the really artsy glass, right? Heady pipes. Because I don't trust myself with them. I'll be honest. It's I wouldn't smoke out of them because I'm not spending $1,200 on a rig
Yeah.
and then fucking ruining it.
Well, you need to get yourself a glass shelf. You need to get
Getting
a
ridiculously
display case.
high and dropping it.
Oh,
Oops.
you got your daily driver. Your daily driver sits on your coffee table.
I
You
know.
put your boutique pieces in a display case where they belong.
Yeah, I get it.
And when I come over, we're going into the display case
Yeah.
and
Special,
finding out what
special.
hole the carb is.
I have
Mhm.
those, but I don't have any heady, like I say. I don't have any of the crazy expensive stuff. I've got some unique. When I collect, I look for things that are unique. That maybe not an artist, but like I have a Sherlock pipe that holds an eighth at least ground up and in the bowl, and it's huge. It's the one in my logo. The bowl's on it like this big. I've got my new AR 15 bong. I don't know if I've showed you that one yet.
I've seen that one though.
No, it's right here. Maybe I'll step off screen and get it at some point because it's crazy. That one will smoke out of for sure because it's like doing the old shotgun, right? You put your mouth on the barrel and the thing lines up and the bowl's way down there and you light
Nice.
that. I haven't smoked out of that one yet.
A steamroller?
Is that what you call that?
I think so.
We always called that the original shotgun because.
I see.
Is it?
It was steamroller by
Apocalypse
us.
Now, where they smoke
Yeah.
out of the barrel of the shotgun. He puts the shotgun to his mouth and he puts the joint in it and he blows the smoke through the shotgun and then yeah, it's Apocalypse Now.
That's the
That's
one.
the original shotgun from Vietnam. Now we just flip the thing backwards and because nobody got a shotgun up in their hands, like
Yeah.
hopefully.
Well, I'll tell you, I've broken my fair share of glass pieces. I'll tell you that much. But the ones, like I have some that might be even considered antiques these days, and And some, yeah, I have some like really impressive stuff in my category, in my catalog, I should say.
Nice.
But yeah, those ones are well protected and out of reach. Most people never even see them. You know.
Yeah, bigger market for that stuff down in California than it is up here in Canada. It's very niche, the people that collect that type of stuff in Canada, but you see quite a bit of it.
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of the artists are from there that I mean, at least that I'm exposed to. I'm sure every corner of the world has
Absolutely.
their history of who's blowing glass around and stuff like this. But yeah, a lot of people are on the West Coast and
Nice.
in Colorado. I remember seeing some of my first glass galleries out there, and literally just walking in and everything's perfectly on display. You know,
Wild, eh?
yeah.
Speaking of artists, our musical guest is in the lobby. You want to do a little hi bear?
Well, I just wanted to say we can't. We'd be very, very remiss if we didn't speak of our sponsor, High
Awesome
Bear.
sponsor, absolutely,
Thank you very much
much
for
appreciated.
sponsoring our first season, and yeah, the big High Bear. Mine is beside me, but I used it all day yesterday, and I haven't had a chance to run it through the machine yet. So I'm not. There's nothing in it. But I wanted to make sure that it was here, just so everyone can see. Right? Look at the beautiful art, and this cup, of course. You know, you can drop this one.
Yeah,
Don't
right.
have to worry about it breaking.
On
And
our next episode, we turn the high bear into a bomb.
oh,
So much more
wasted water
versatility.
pipes. If you're listening, you put a
No,
hole right here.
I'm gonna have to come back on and show everybody how to make Rick Simpson oil out of this because that the trap that's in there and the micron screen is perfect, and you can double boil it. I mean, you could literally put this inside of a double boiler, and then what I had done in the past, yeah, and I because the top comes off, and then
Right.
that can actually evaporate here, and then what I would actually do is pour it out from here and just get the rest of it completely done. But this is all a like a polished finish on the inside. It's completely non-stick, so you can actually boil it off all the way in here and take that out and let it kind of cure a little bit more. You know?
Nice, I like
Yeah,
That's brilliant.
it was like the first thing that I thought of when I saw it. I was like, "Oh, I could totally make medicine with this." And you can keep it on your counter at home. You don't need like a 5-gallon bucket and all this. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
first of all, making Rick Simpson oil is extremely easy. Like anybody can do it at home. You just need to follow step, and you're done in a day. It's like
And ventilation. Ventilation is the most important thing.
right. I normally kind of do it outside in a clean
Yeah.
area outside,
Yeah.
but
You can do that. A lot of people in the weather here now you can't. So you got to do it under a really strong fan in
Right.
Canada.
right. But when I saw this, I was like, and the micron screen on the inside, I was like, man, this like cut so many corners because first of all, it's a water bottle and it's already in your house, and
Yeah.
you're thinking of, well, how do I even make this medicine that everybody's talking about? Well, you already have all the pieces that you need, and you might
Sure.
not be making your 60 grams, but you're gonna make a few grams at a time through this. You know.
Absolutely. You're going to make it enough that, even if it's a week's supply, right? So an ounce gets you somewhere, depending on the raw material that you're using, somewhere between 5 and 7 grams of RSO per ounce. If you're using straight flour of a high rosin or high crystal, lots of trichome plant, you're looking at 7 grams. If you're using trim, you're looking at 5.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
So
if I would be making a regiment I would probably be scaling it into making one batch to make the regiment.
Sure.
But if it's somebody for I'm healthy, but I still think that RSO should be introduced into my lifestyle, you know?
Yeah.
And so having small amounts around is beneficial for me because it doesn't take much of RSO to
Not
do
at all.
anything, you know? And if you really have the time and you have it, like even a little dot at the end of a knife or at the end of a fork, spoon, whatever,
Yeah.
that's really, really good.
And even just to make a tincture.
Yeah,
This bottle is great for a tincture, right? Because you can make the tincture in the bottle, heating up the alcohol, warming the alcohol will
right.
make make it happen faster, right?
Mm-hmm.
Things will go into saturation faster. Like if you want to make sugar, you don't want to boil off the alcohol, but the same process can be used in the bottle, and you can have in the high bear, you can put your in the diffuser. It's
Yeah,
brilliant.
I like starting with full spectrum with whatever I do, you know, and
Sure.
you know what I mean? I really like having that whole plant extraction, even if you're making cookies and brownies and stuff like this, and then adding that into your butters and your tinctures. It's very versatile, and you know that you're getting the entire plant's contents inside, you know?
Yeah, I'm not a like I say, I'm the distillates have their uses for certain things, obviously.
Yeah,
But I'm a full spectrum. You just
right.
the entourage
Okay,
effect
you're
to me
speaking my language.
is the most important thing. Without the entourage effects, everything is an isolation effect, and I'm a group kind of guy. I want the group hug. I don't want to give me the group hug.
All right.
Hi Bear, shout out to Hi Bear. Thank you. Hopefully, we'll see you again next season,
Maybe we'll see you on the moon.
and we'll see you on the moon. And
Beautiful.
anyone else want to sponsor? Hit us up for sponsorship. Get a hold of us in the off season. We'd be happy to bring on some new sponsors for season 2.
DMs are always open. Give us a
That's
holler.
right. Now, time to get some music on, isn't it?
Yeah, let's bring in our final musical guest for season 1 here. Goes by Dope Knife out of Georgia. He's been rapping and been a lyrical madman for quite a while. I go back 20 plus years for him, so I'm excited to catch up with him, see what he's got going on, let him tell his story, and let's bring him in. Yo, what's going on, man?
I was just listening to Giannis reacting to Chris getting traded.
Oh, don't even get me started.
I'm
going
just-
right there.
You know, I'm like a Giannis fan, so like this is like my first time interacting with at least on Tanner's end, somebody who actually
Yeah.
is in Milwaukee going through it. Are you all right, man?
Yep. No, so if you guys aren't up to speed on the NBA news here, the Bucks traded away Chris Middleton to the Washington Wizards, which is Mac's team, for Kyle Kuzma. They just got bent over and taken.
Well,
Today, this
for
happened?
things. Yeah, today.
Yeah,
Today
this
just
happened
happened.
today.
The trade deadline's around the corner here, so it's
Well,
a bunch of big moves are happening.
this was me and Tanner's first time talking about it, but I take it kind of differently. I don't necessarily think it's doom and gloom for the Wizards. They are, but I think the Bucks are going to be all right.
It's we'll see. It's an interesting move because it's the first time. I mean, really, it seems like it's just to get under the luxury tax, go down to that next tier.
Yeah, I don't think
so
it's
it seems more like a budgeting move than anything, and that's the first time that the new ownership has kind of said, maybe we pull back on spending.
Yeah, I can
That's not a good
see
sign.
next year or by the summer it just being Giannis and Dame on the team, and then everybody else is gone, just rebuild from there. But
For sure. We'll see, man. We'll see. Don't get me started on it. All right.
I'm sorry. Like I said, I was trying to gauge whether people were like sad or okay. Now I know. I'm sorry. No disrespect. My condolences. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I can tell you firsthand, once your team decides to go under the luxury tax, because I'm up by the Raptors.
Word.
Yeah. Right.
You're swimming around a toilet bowl for a couple
Hey,
years.
I'm a Wizards fan, like, because you know that as far as like geographically where I'm from, and it's like they were bad when I was a kid, and they had like a brief 4-year period of time where they were good, and then they've been bad since. And all I can say is, when you support a team that's bad all the time, you got to appreciate those good times, because when motherfuckers start getting underneath the cap and shit, you could be bad for like a decade or two.
Yeah.
This is what I fear is going to happen up here.
Yeah, man.
One, and then it's going to be 35 years before we get back there.
Straight up, we'll all be grandfathers the next time the Raptors and the Wizards are even decent. If we're not already.
Yeah. I mean, you got to go back to 2003 before we were competitive. We had a big lull there before we got lucky and drafted Giannis and built a little something. So
yeah, Milwaukee was
I've
one of
enjoyed
those
it,
teams where
if it does come to an end, we gotta chip out of it. We gotta something we haven't had in a while, and
don't downplay the chip. It's a ring.
I said it. That's what I said. It's huge. Yeah, man. I said we haven't had that in a really long time. Obviously, so you can't downplay that. You just get frustrated. We don't have more than one.
Yeah. But at least for now, you're not one of the teams that none of the kids pick when they're playing 2K. So, that's what the Wizards are. The Wizards have been, and seems like they always will be. So, go Giannis.
Well, thanks for joining us, man. We appreciate it, dude.
Thank you.
It's good to see you. Good to hear from you.
You too, man. Hey, I've never met you guys before. How are y'all doing?
Hey, how we doing?
Santa Claus, also known as Clark.
Crypto.
Pleasure, man. I'm up in Canada.
Niagara
Falls, Canada.
I used to live in Toronto when I was a kid for about
oh, did you?
Yeah, about 3 years. Yeah, it was like from like 7 to 10. Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
What part of the city?
Shit, I don't even remember. Like my father worked for the State Department, so we moved around from country to country when I was a kid. But so as far as like what part of the city, I forget. We were like right across the street from a hotel. I remember they filmed like a little bit of an episode of the X-Files there, and it was like a big deal for us. But yeah, I don't remember the exact area. I don't remember the address or anything like that.
That'd probably be downtown.
Yeah, it was.
That'd be downtown.
Yeah, when you're with the State Department like that, and they put you in the countries, it's like you're set up. The government like sets up your housing and shit like that. So I'm sure it was in like a downtown area.
It was a condo, probably.
Yeah, it was like it was an apartment. It was pretty busy area. So.
Yeah, I was down around there when they were filming the X-Files. I think it was the movie they were filming
in
Toronto.
Word, yeah.
Yeah, Toronto had and still does, a lot of the film and music industry is in Toronto. A lot of the Netflix stuff.
Word. I didn't know that.
I did not know that. Yeah, I had no idea.
The Boys is all filmed here.
Oh shit! Word.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that have done The Boys. They've done some Star Trek stuff.
And like in Toronto, not like just in like Canada, but like in Toronto.
In Toronto, Netflix has a full-blown studio.
Oh shit!
Okay.
In Toronto, like a warehouse type studio.
Yeah.
I'm
down in.
Same with Amazon.
I'm down in Savannah, Savannah, Georgia, and like in the last, I want to say, goddamn, in the last like 10 years. Georgia in general, but Savannah, like they've been filming a lot of stuff, like just like Hollywood, like a lot of Marvel stuff is filmed here, a lot of Disney shit there, so that's kind of got celebrity spotting throughout the city, like all the time now. Everybody's posting, oh, John Cena was at the grocery store and shit like that.
Yeah, I'm in Niagara Falls, so we get a lot of that too. Like a lot of people come to visit, right?
Yeah, all the time.
Niagara Falls.
I don't know if you remember Tanner when you were living here. J-Lo and Ben had like a place out on the beach, so people would spot them around.
I vaguely remember that. Yeah, there was a lot of people, a lot of celebrities down there.
Savannah's gorgeous. I have dear friend, like a family member. My dad's best friend. I called him uncle, but he wasn't uncle. You
Yeah,
know.
no, I know
And
that.
Mm-hmm.
Z Porter is her name. She's got to be 90 now. Z's from Savannah originally.
Nice.
She's she was absolute gem of a woman, and as a kid growing up, I used to just love talking to her
Yeah.
because of the way she drag out words, man.
Well, I'm probably gonna end up
Yep.
90 down here too, or on some shit for real. It's one of those vortex towns where you get here, and certain people. It's like, man,
It's tough
yeah,
to leave.
I'm
Yeah.
kind of digging this.
Feet get
Cool.
stuck to the
Yeah,
ground.
well, I'm actually
Yep. Exactly.
I'm probably gonna be moving up to Ohio, probably after the summer. But that is like in the context of, it's like, okay, my girlfriend's like, oh, when your kids graduate high school, then we're gonna go back to Savannah and chill,
Gotta get back
Yeah.
there. Yeah, that's
Let's
actually
hear-
where we met. We go back. I mean, that's kind of where, and I told a little bit of my story where we met. The other
Word.
half of Earthings, and Justin met there as well. But yeah, it goes back to about what 2003, which is
Yeah.
I think kind of when you started making music.
Yeah,
about
like
the same
2003
time, right?
is around when like everybody met. So like, how much of it did you explain? Like, so Savannah has a
Not
college.
super in
There's a
depth.
college in Savannah, and
Mhm.
as the Savannah College of Art and Design. So I went there, and various members of our crew went to Savannah. And in the way it ended up being is just had a bunch of different cats from different parts of the country in Savannah for various reasons. Some of us were there for school. Some of us had just graduated or had just dropped out. Some of us were in town for work, but we all met and kind of bonded on, we're on some hip hop head shit, and had our various nerdy quips, you know what I mean? And then
Mhm.
so we all kind of bonded on that and formed a rap crew. I don't know how much they know about your rapping, Tanner, but this dude over here, yeah, he in his day he was a beast with it. So
In what
Nice,
way?
man.
Appreciate you.
he was. I
Were
mean,
you
he
a
was.
fast rapper? Was he a
No,
lyricist?
Nah, he wasn't
No,
really a
more of
fast
a-
rapper.
more
He was
melodic.
just stylistically. I don't know how it would. Tanner definitely has that like Midwestern. There's like a. I guess it's in the schemes and cadences, but there's like a Midwestern thing that motherfuckers from Chicago and Minnesota, they all do. And Tanner definitely has that in style, but just in terms of quality, like if rappers were like NBA 2K players, like Tanner was like 89, 90 ranking overall rating. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate
so
ya.
like,
Right on.
like was not a
Picked here and
slouch.
there. I got picked here and there.
And back when we were partying, yeah, he probably could have ate up your favorite rapper in a cipher. Yeah.
Well, that was back in the day when we'd actually go to a club and a freestyle battle was
A
actually a
thing, yeah.
freestyle.
That's
Nobody
when those
written
things
anything. There was
existed,
it was you'd spend you just get partnered up on a stage with whoever you're gonna battle against, and it's like it's straight off the top. You don't know what the beat's gonna be. You don't know what the tempo's gonna
It's
be.
like the real battle.
and you're just immediately starting to sit there, and it's like, all right, depending on if you go first or second. I always like going second because usually they give you some material where it's like, all right, and if you just got to go first, then you just say fuck it and go first. But that was starting our rap careers that way. I think it really helped because it took going to the studio to a different level where it's just like, oh shit, I can actually sit down and think
Yeah.
about what I'm going to say. And it's not like I have to hit stuff on beat and think of the word I'm going to rhyme with the topic I'm going to rhyme, how I'm going to make fun of this motherfucker and not sound like an idiot and all this stuff. And it's a lot happening at once. So it kind of sharpens your skills real quick.
And for context, that's not really how things are anymore. You know what I
Are you
mean?
telling me that? Are you telling me that Spacebar is like an off the floor impromptu? He's really good at that.
Yeah, I
rapping?
mean, it's just like any other
So
activity.
like if you
Max got it down a little more.
I-
fat than
so
me.
like if you threw a beat out,
I mean,
we could
well, here's the thing.
we
Like
could get him
any,
to do something right now.
Yeah, I like where this is headed.
Like any other skill, you gotta work at it and practice with it. You know what I mean? So there's a chance he might be out of practice and he would
Yeah.
have to get into game shape. But yeah, at a
Well,
point in
we'll
100%.
put
time,
that one in the pocket and save it for later.
yeah, but
He's not
and not
champ.
just. I mean, Tanner,
That's
don't
the
even. It's
case.
not just on the battles and shit, but like freestyling. You know what I mean? Like freestyle, impromptu
Yeah, for
rapping.
sure.
Like
For sure.
like. So we started off freestyling. And then, we would have battles with each other. So everybody battled each other. It's all friendly and shit. And then when we formed our rap group and started doing shows and stuff, because we had started out freestyling, I can honestly say we never did the same show twice. You know what I mean? Like every like we know like we have like songs that we would do all the time, but just in terms of the show, like the order we do them in, like stopping in the middle and making something that's complete, like off the top. So every set was like a new thing. It was almost like being in a impromptu group. We used to call it what was it? We called it like nerdy Wu Tang, like backpack Wu Tang is how we like describe it.
Pretty much, man. That's kind
For
of what
your
it was.
nerdy
'Cause
children.
No, that was the case though, and it's because again we started like that. Like our live shows had a lot of that integrated. We would Canna Claus do exactly that, where halfway through the show, it's like, all right, let's just kill it, throw a beat on, and gather some items. Everyone throw some items in a hat. Throw your items in a hat. You'll get them back when we're done. And we're going to go through them. We're going to pick them out, and we're going to just start rapping about them. And then, that would really help, like, get crowds engaged. One thing we just always, all of us, I think, bonded because, it started at, like, a Tuesday night, like I think I had mentioned on our show. It was a punk bar that hosted a hip-hop night. So we started kind of meeting people, and there was a lot of rappers there. There was a lot of people there. And then you just started kind of gravitating towards, I don't know, the heads that seemed a little bit more serious about it, kind of had that presence on stage that just drew you in. And those are the heads that kind of formed together where we're like, all right, we want our live show to be impactful. We want it to be remembered. We want it to be fun. And we want to kind of like build it off of this environment because we would pack the house back in the day, man. It was a good
There's
time.
definitely like a sense of, the six of us are better
where
than all
have
these
things
other
gone?
guys. We should click up.
Right?
Where did things go after that for you, Kendrick?
Oh, I mean, I never stopped. I as the responsibilities of life and just people going in different directions happen. But
Sure.
from the minute
Yeah.
I started rapping late when I was 18, and it was kind of like, oh, this is what I want to do. So I just stuck at it, and it's hard to describe. It's like I wouldn't say like, oh man, I have like a name for myself in the indie hip hop world just in general, but there's like a certain space where I'm Dope Knife, and it's like, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, for
it's like
sure.
I kind of carved that out for myself, and I'm just trying to expand it in the way that indie artists do. So touring, putting music online, getting into the whole social media thing and promoting on there, and just, I've kept doing it as an independent artist. So I'm still very much in practice of all the stuff that me and Tanner have been talking about. Like,
And where can
Nice.
people find
Oh,
your music?
Dope Knife anywhere. My social media is all Knife is Dope at Knife is Dope. But yeah, on Spotify
Life is dope.
Spotify
Okay.
and streaming is pretty much where I've like focused a lot of my energy since back in the day. So I was going real heavy with touring at the beginning or towards the end of the last decade, and got it to a pretty good point where it was like that was all I was doing. It was just I'd be in Savannah for like a month, be on the road for 2 months, come back in Savannah for 2 months, leave for a week, come back for, just going back and forth and just hitting the road.
Yeah.
COVID hit, and that really kind of slowed shit down. But simultaneously, right before COVID hit, I had gotten hit up by iHeartRadio to host a podcast of my own. Waiting on Reparations podcast, iHeartRadio, and all the other spots. But anyway, I did that, and I started doing that. COVID hit, so I couldn't tour but I had this podcast that I was the co-host and producer on, so it took a lot of my energy anyway. And I kind of just focused on doing that for 2 years, and that kind of really took me out of the groove and hustle that I was in. You know, that independent like grind and hustle, because I was getting fucking corporate paycheck. And not only that, but it was like literally just to be Dope Knife, you know. So I was rapping on the podcast and talking politics and all that sort of stuff. So I did that for 2 years. And then when that contract ended, I was like, all right, I'm going to go at this music shit hard again. And this is like 2022. And it's like, all right, the world is kind of a different place. And the music industry in general is kind of different. You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, I went from getting out of it to where it's like, man, this is the best time to be an indie artist, to coming back into it in the like peak streaming era where it's like, man, this shit is worse than like 1930s music industry. You know what I mean? It's like holy shit, this is, and I mean, with the
At least they got fed in the 30s. They don't even make enough to eat nowadays.
But I mean, it's
not from streaming. Not from streaming.
Of a penny.
It's like really on some, the way things work out, it really might as well be, damn, one company owns everything and they are the gatekeepers and they are the barriers to like even getting your shit heard. So it's like all the whole wild west, man. The internet's just a free thing and make your thing and put it out there, and that shit doesn't exist anymore at all. You know what I mean, like at all.
It's all algorithm based. It's all
crash course
based,
in internet marketing and ad running. You know what I'm saying? It's nuts out there. So that's kind of the separating thing right now, is like who has the patience to educate themselves on how to navigate the new space. You know what I mean? But there's definitely a lot of cats out there that are trying to. I obviously I can only speak, you know, as like an indie rapper, but my social circle is a lot of indie artists and stuff like that. But it's like the thing I notice is like, man, a lot of people are still trying to push their music like it's 2015, and it's like. You know, it's like
it changes quick, man, and it's changing. I think it's going to change again even quicker on us. You know, I do think it's kind of at a paradigm shift where it's not workable anymore, and you have this mass pool of artists who are just searching and fiending for whatever is next. We all know something's coming. We all know, you know, have maybe some vague ideas of what it might look like, but the urge to participate in anything meaningful again from the artist side is just, it's huge right now, because it's quantity has killed it. Quantity has killed the quality. It's made it such a grind. Like you said, you need a fucking degree in marketing just to, you know, try to hit 10,000 followers and across all your platforms. And you need some money behind the, you know, to hit the algorithms and make sure the consistency's there and all this stuff. And it
really is. It's like, it's the symptoms of almost complete like corporate control of.
It makes the old record labels look like
nothing. I mean,
Spotify is the ultimate gangster.
And that is not an exaggeration. It really is not an exaggeration.
Every musician in the world right now, every musician, every podcaster, it owns them, whether they know it or not. It owns them in one way or another.
The UMG,
because it's got their fate.
The Universal Music Group. The last thing that I was reading about was they're getting ready, or at least they're thinking about buying DistroKid or TuneCore, which is the means of distributing. And then also like buying Bandcamp and shit like that. You know what I mean? So it's like no matter if you're indie, no matter what, you're giving money to the label. You know what I'm saying? So it's just it's crazy out there.
That's why Gala is so interesting, because it you know, I'm not a musician and I don't have a music to sell or anything, but I know a lot of people. I've run a lot of festivals and stuff, and they're all struggling the same way. Festivals are the only place that anybody can make any money, because bars can't afford to pay you anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, they pay you, but not enough for you to tour. So they all suck into the local stuff, and then you break the 3-month rule of playing in your own backyard once every 3 months at the most, because no one's showing up if you're still playing every week except your mom.
and then the gigs
So-
that do like pay good still is like, oh man, I'm gonna like go rap or DJ in the background of this like insurance company Christmas party. You know what I mean? Like,
And I'll be there. I'll be there just as Santa Claus, and me and you be out back puffing one.
exactly. Like,
That's the bonus. You can puff one with Santa Claus.
like, oh man, can you do Rapper's Delight? Can you do
I'm
Rapper's
making
Delight?
more fucking money than you. That's the bad side. Yeah, trust me, that's happened.
Yeah, no, I've done a
That has
couple of them. I've done a couple of those gigs, and it's like, I mean, hey, a check's a check, right? But I mean, man, if that's not like some soul crushing, like, wow, I'm not gonna make one fan. So like, none of you are buying a shirt.
Yeah, right.
No one's gonna remember me
Santa
after
Claus
this.
might give a few away for you.
Like, I've done a million shows, and like those are the only ones where I felt like, man, no one's gonna remember me after that. You know, what I'm saying? Like, I didn't.
And if they do, it's like, who hired a rapper to do the Christmas show?
I do want to break into the frat circuit, though. That would be cool. Like,
There you go. That'd be fun.
Oh yeah, those are.
Even though I don't even like
that'd be
really, I barely drink like that anymore. It'd be fun to go over there and see what type of.
Well, that's why you can do it now.
Ex-
Because if you still drank like that, you
Yeah,
couldn't do
that's,
it.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a little
we,
slippery there.
we could go down a damn rabbit hole of the things that I think about. Like, man, if we didn't do this or do that or do this or do that, we would be like a completely different spot. With it.
Fucking hindsight, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. We all have that.
my
I spent
all have
my
it
one
crystal
regret, like that I'll share, but like the one big regret that I have is that out the gate we were a big group. Like I said, we were Backpack Wu-Tang. So we're talking, you had like 7 rappers, and then you had like with 8 b-boys and 2 DJs and a bunch of miscellaneous motherfuckers just hanging around. Like, it was a big group, right? But we
You were a
started
festival.
doing it off of the top, like paying our light bill and water bills with it. You know what I mean? It's like, oh man, we just did a show and we got $400. Man, time to split that 27 way. You know what I'm saying? Instead of pooling our resources when we were hot, so that we could do something dope. You know, that's my one regret, that I go back and it's like, man,
Here's your $12.50. Here's your
I
$12.50.
could have just picked up another shift to pay that water bill, and instead I did it. We really needed that chill money.
Yeah, we didn't really have any concept of reinvesting.
Yeah.
It was, you were just young and
Yeah,
dumb.
man.
And we were like, oh, what did we get paid? Half of us went to the bar with it. The other half went and got dime bags, and then
for
we all
real,
met
for
back in
real.
the middle.
It's
and
like,
it was-
man, this club just paid us $400 to go up there and just like jerk ourselves off on how
Hang out.
cool we are. Instead of getting a computer so that we can record better quality stuff, nah, man, I
Nope.
need to get a gram. I need to go and buy this girl a drink. Right?
Yeah.
I only need $50 more for rent. Like, it was just, what were we thinking?
good stuff.
Well, I think it's time to hear a tune.
Yeah, absolutely. You sent over 2 tracks. Is there one you want to play first, and anything behind it you want to tell us about?
Well, I think the first one probably go well with the podcast is the Another Drag.
Okay.
Yeah, it's featuring another one of our featuring. He fucking has one line in the chorus, but anyway, it's featuring another one of our homeboys from the Savannah days when we all used to rap together. Our group, by the way, was Dope Sandwich, and back in the day, my rap name was Knife. So when I started doing my solo shit and the group kind of dissolved, I like adopted the Dope before the Knife to kind of like, that's like my forever call sign to the group. You know, I'm Dope Knife.
Yep.
So
Yeah, dope knife is better than sandwich knife.
yeah, it's better than the Knife, because that shit, like when we back in the MySpace days, you know, I was like, man, knife is too hard to search, so let me add the to it, right? And then my page had like fucking 50,000 followers or some crazy shit off the rip, and it was like, oh man, this is dope. And that was because there's some Swedish electronica band called The Knife 2, and all the people thought that I was so, for a bunch of reasons.
Knife.
Well, since my name is Mac, last year, me and my girlfriend were talking, and I was like, since this kind of feels like I'm a new artist because I've been out of the game and I'm trying to make this new concerted push and shit, I think maybe I should just change my name, just start and just like keep it new. And I was flirting with the idea of like having my like actual rap name be Mac the Knife. And at the 11th hour, I changed my mind. I was like, nah, I spent the last decade building up this dope thing. I gotta, let me just keep playing safe. Branding, there you go. It's like I have like a certain branding with the dope knife thing that it just works right now. So,
all right. Well, with that, we will rock another drag.
Yo, ayo, the cops try to get me with intent to sell. I said, no, motherfucker, I just smoke too well. They said,
fuck that, take another drag. Pass it. Fuck that, take another drag. Pass it.
Cops try to get me with intent to sell. I said, no, motherfucker, I just smoke too well. They said,
fuck that, take another drag. Pass it. Fuck that, take another drag. Pass
yo, shit'll have your parts tethered on a car fender. Why you think my bar's better? I'm a bartender, large member, mesmerizing your hug and kiss. Dope got fiends on the block like snuffleupagus. Shut his zip, my shit make the sun eclipse. Had enough of it, kiss my ass with the puckered lips. If I bother writing a response to every punk that diss, then my rhyme book would probably look like Crime and Punishment. Means I put the work in, y'all keep chirping. I channel shit all into words and it'll be disturbing. You be concerned when I slap you and then eat your serving. My shit'll grind all on your nerves until you need a surgeon. Now at worst, I'm better, chest burst whoever. First they wanted beef, now it's let's work together. My feeling hearing beats, my next verse is clever. A nigga been dope since X versus 7. Hey yo, the cops trying to get me with intent to sell. I said no, motherfucker, I just smoke too well. They said
fuck that, take another drag. Pass it. Fuck that, take another drag. Pass it.
Cops try to get me with intent to sell. I said no, motherfucker, I just smoke too well. They said
fuck that, take another drag. Pass it. Fuck that, take another drag. Pass.
Shout out to DJ Mob and Cut, DJ Valis, DJ Doc Ock, DJ Butcher. Who am I missing? The whole Dope Sandwich Clan, H2O Gang, Seaport.
Yeah, man.
Love that, man. That's a dope
thank
beat
you,
too.
yo, thank you.
Who made that beat?
I did.
Nice, dude. I like it.
I really got heavy into like producing around 2015, but the last like 2 years, man, I've been going nuts with it because I really wanted to like,
yeah.
Since I was getting into the whole streaming shit, I was like, man, all right, I want to like start making songs more free or dropping music more frequently because that's part of the play now, right? So it's like, man, I can't really depend on outside producers to put out shit at the like rate that I want to put it out. So I really just like I'm sitting on a library of joints. You know what I mean? I have tons of beats, and it's like I've got like crops of them saved up for albums where it's like I can sit down and think of some concept or deep shit or whatever the hell it is that I want to say. But then I just have like another folder where I can kind of utilize that freestyle shit that me and Tanner were talking about and just really make songs just like that are really short, really fast. And so I've just been doing that and just releasing that and just building up just interest in what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like really putting out the I hate calling it content because I just don't like saying that word. Just I'm kind of sick of it, but
No material.
But yeah, I've been putting out the videos on like a regular basis of me rapping songs in different places and shit like that. And I'm probably gonna start doing more like public exhibitions of freestyling and shit like that, and start putting those out more. Oh, I don't know if Tanner told you, like we all freestyled back in the day, but like I'm really like that. Like I'm that dude with with the off the top freestyle shit.
That's his thing.
So
absolutely.
yeah, it's never been a focus of mine, just in terms of like a selling point or whatnot. Like, oh man, I'm gonna really capture people's attention with the freestyling shit. But that all goes in with what I was saying about shit changing back in 2015, 2016, 2017 with the way the industry was. I didn't necessarily need that to be the selling point. It could be something that you could go to my show and you would see me like freestyle and it's like, oh, that's cool. But people were hearing about me by hearing my songs and stuff. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And even
Yeah.
though I have like Spotify and I'm focusing on like my streaming, a streaming listener is much more of like a passive listener. So it's harder to reel them in with just the song alone. They're gonna go to the next song and the next song and the next song and the next playlist. But with the content game, it's more of a novelty where it's like, oh wait, I freestyle really, really dope, and I can make videos of that, and that can catch people's attention and then drive them to the music. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna start taking advantage of that.
Well, and I think it goes kind of hand in hand. I know I've talked to you a little bit about like the Web3 stuff and what we're building, and just kind of the whole new way you can kind of interact and put stuff out and get creative with it. You know, I mean, one thing off the top of my head, our metaverse build that is coming out here soon, it's got like a, you know, like the Las Vegas Sphere. We basically built that on top of this thing where it's meant to be like that type of event space, not anything huge event space, but things where it's like, yo, you want to do consistent materials, broadcast them through your stream and in these other areas too, because that's areas people are actually in and experience and walking around a town square, and you know, they could watch your broadcast from across the town square on our dome type stuff. So it's like, you know, there's a lot of cool technology and platforms kind of coming out where for someone like you and for things like you're mentioning, there's going to be whole new avenues on how you can go and sell stuff and how you can go and interact with people. And
like I would love to like throw like a virtual show. You know what I mean?
100%.
Have you seen this yet?
No, I haven't.
Sneak peek of what Spacebar put together?
He hasn't seen
I
it
haven't
yet.
seen
He
it
talks
yet.
about it. He hasn't seen it yet.
No, me neither. I haven't seen it yet either.
Yeah, I'm waiting.
coming soon.
We had
Real
like
soon.
a really long like phone call where he was like describing everything to me, but you know those sort of things you gotta see it to really grasp what's going on.
But like
definitely.
you say, things are changing, and it's marketing.
Yeah.
Right. And marketing is fishing where the fish are, or having your bait in the water before as they're arriving, and that's what you guys are doing now. You're realizing that it's changing.
Mm-hmm.
The fish are moving, right? They're not
For
in
sure.
the old traditional fishing hole. Something happened over there. They're attracted to this spot over there.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get ahead of them, get our line in and we'll catch some fish.
Yeah.
Get the net in the water, and you'll catch a fish when they arrive. But
Yeah,
if you don't have your
absolutely.
net in the water, they're gonna swim right past you by the time you get there. And I think you sound like you're on the ball on that. Well, everybody here does, because I've never seen it change so fast. You know, like I was around with 8 tracks, and that took a long time to go to cassettes, right? But we had records the whole time, and a record was never gonna go away. That was forever and ever. We put it on a spaceship and sent it out to space.
Yeah.
A record.
Yeah.
Nah.
Because it was
Yeah.
always going to be a record. And then the CD came. And I was like, oh, this got rid of the record, but there is no way this thing's ever disappearing. 10 years later,
Yep.
it's like 10 years, it's gone. Like, okay, 15 maybe. And then we were like, oh, just plug your music into the side of your computer using this little flash drive. That's the next. And you can also try this streaming site, but it's kind of like going down to Main Street and sleeping with Methany, right? Getting your music from LimeWire or whatever, right? You turn your computer on and you're infected.
That was cool. I started going to shows, and what they were offering on your way out of the show was tonight's show on a flash drive.
Oh no!
So
Yeah.
That's
as
pretty
you
dope.
were
Yeah.
walking out, you'd be like, "You want to purchase a recording of tonight's show?" It's right here on the flash drive.
Dope.
Kinda
You know,
dope, yeah.
Right?
I started collecting those.
Yeah.
I forget the artist's name, but I did a show with one guy who was selling like his whole entire discography on a flash drive. It was like, oh man, that's dope. But like the flash drive was like all designed and shit, and like look, you know what I mean? Looked like something
yeah.
worth
Yeah.
something, you know, it was dope.
We did some work with a screamo band up here in Canada. My friend was in, and they did that. They had a special invitation only show, and part of the gig was that you got their new album release on a flash drive with the artwork for
That's
the
awesome.
album, and then it had a CD case, but it had no CD.
Oh, word.
So like the paper CD case,
Yeah.
flash drive attached at the bottom,
Yeah.
but all your liner notes and whatnot inside
That's
that,
dope.
and it came with the flash drive. And you could then, when they released further music, you got there were 3 or 4 more songs to come out before the next album, and you got those just by plugging your flash drive in, and it automatically would go to the site and download them.
That's fucking dope.
Yeah.
I
But that lasted
Yeah.
what? 2 years, and then
Man.
boom.
people don't even download shit anymore.
Yeah, now it's just
Yeah. Stream that shit.
poof, push the button and go, right?
I had a kid at the merch table the other day, he bought a CD, and then he was like, oh man, that was dope. I have no idea where I'm gonna do with this.
Did you sign it
We're
at
to
least?
that point.
Yeah, I
We're to that point where
I made sure it was a collector's item at least, or a
Yeah,
fancy,
sign that. Here.
a good paperweight, you
Shelf.
know.
that's how, like, I remember being like, oh yeah, you got to go home and use your dad's record player. Now it's I got to go home and hope my dad's CD player is in the basement somewhere.
Instant antique.
Yeah, and you know, that was also when those disappeared, that revenue stream disappeared. So
Yeah,
your
for sure.
really only real way to generate money is to perform live, because the streams just don't, you know, unless you're Taylor Swift. But even then, you know, like Taylor Swift had sold the most CDs in Canada last year,
Oh, word, shit.
44,000. 44,000 CDs.
It's like
in a whole
it's like a
year.
collector's
Yeah.
item at that point. You know, that's really where it's at.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
now
if
Oh,
it's not
yes.
even gold.
if you and even that is like, in many ways, it's like an issue for like bigger artists who don't necessarily own their music and stuff like that. Because I mean, if you're a smaller artist
Yeah.
and you maintain a certain level of ownership and you have a big enough following, you can do all right. You know what I'm saying? It just all depends on like what slice of the
Sure.
pie you've got. If you're signed to a label and you know what I mean, your album has
You
to
gotta
make
own
back
your
$1 million bucks in order to even be worth anything. Then yeah, there's like more pressure
That's
on the
why
system.
all the bands, right? That's why all the old bands from the 70s, 80s, and 90s remastered all their
Yeah,
stuff,
so that they
changed
can
one word.
squeeze
Mhm.
every
And-
drop of every penny that they can out of the material. But yeah, but if you're like an independent artist and you've got a home studio and you know what I'm saying, you're making your music on your own, you've watched a shit ton of YouTube videos so you know how to mix your music at least passably. You know what I mean? You watched a shit ton
Yeah, yeah.
more YouTube videos so you know how to master your stuff somewhat passively for streaming anyway. And then you have 5,000 fans. Oh, you're living like a doctor, man. You know what I mean? Like you're putting your music out there and you're not worried about having millions and legions of people. You just have 5,000 to 2,000 people who fuck with you, and when you put out a new album, they're gonna go buy it. And when you put out a new record on streaming, they're gonna listen to it a bunch of times. Oh yeah, you can do pretty good for yourself if you've got that going on. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah, 5,000's a good number from what my understanding is.
Mhm.
You got that going. That but that's loyal, right?
yeah, like loyal,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
loyal
loyal.
fans.
It's
You know what I
repeat.
mean? Like people who are
yeah.
people who are gonna like 1 out of every 2 days are like, man, I wonder what Dope Knife's doing. You know what I'm saying? Like those sort of things. Like I have
Yeah, or
about
they got your tunes in their regular
I've got
rotation.
about 200 of those. You know what I mean? So I'm just trying to to grow and expand that.
Get that number
That's
up.
the level I'm at.
4,800 more coming your way right after this show.
But you know, and I'm old enough that I work with younger artists sometimes, and like one of the things I try to stress to them is the overwhelming majority of people who are making music are making it so that their mom and their brother and sister and their immediate friends are like, oh man, that was dope. Oh, that thing you sent me on my phone, that was ill. That's the majority of people. So if you're making music and you have even one person who you don't know who's like, man, that's fucking dope, I fuck with that, you gotta cherish that shit. You know what I mean? Because the chances that you're gonna be a fucking millionaire are slim. So you might as well do the shit for people to enjoy it. And if you can get one person who has no other reason to comment on your shit or to send you a DM other than, hey, I heard this thing you made and it was cool, or I listened to this podcast. I got a lot of that when I was doing the podcast with iHeart. I listened to this podcast and that thing you said really resonated with me. You have to like appreciate that. You can't be like, oh man, I only have 1,000 followers. Yeah. This, like, I just don't even understand that mentality. I mean, I get it from like a cold bottom line. Hey, I'm trying to make this much money and I can't get there with 2,000 followers. Like, I get that. But if you're not in that boat and for a large majority of the shit, you're making your music or your art for your own satisfaction, then I don't get that, being self-conscious about what your following is and how many likes and all that sort of shit. I haven't gotten that deep into the social media game where that's part of how I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, that's not why artists create, right? They create because it's got to come out of there. It's got to come out, otherwise it's going to burn a hole.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, not to say that I don't want to like that. There's not like a level of quote unquote success, whatever that may be, that like I'm trying to get at. But at the same time, I'm just pretty practical about it. That it's like, hey, this could end up being, I'm like, you know, you guys don't know how dope Grandpa was back in the day. You know what I mean? Like that very well could be it, and so be it. You know, it's just like that's just not gonna stop 100%. Me, or it's not gonna stop me or motivate me from like I'm at the end of the day, I have to have fun doing it. So it's like, you know, I still have fun doing it. I still find the energy, and yeah, you know, I mean, the obstacles don't seem like, man, this is like, there's no fucking point in doing this. It more so seems like, okay, this is a problem to solve. How am I going to get around this? Or how do I have to do this now? What move do I have to make now? That sort of thing.
What fun stuff have you got coming up?
So
anything you can tell us about?
Yeah. So, I just put out two songs that you guys got are from the new album, Keep That Little Smug. And that shit's out right now. And, you know, it's doing pretty good. But the whole thing I was telling you with this stockpile of music that I've been making. So I have like enough shit that I'm pretty much going to start putting out a 10-track album like every other month for like the foreseeable future. And I mean,
that's tough.
From like, this is not like something I'm saying like, oh man, yeah, this is like this task I'm about. Like this shit's already done. You know what I mean? I'm just literally like looking at them all and like, all right, get this song and this goes with that.
Packaging and delivering.
You know what I mean? Just mix them out. Cause
that's awesome.
Because none of it's like conceptual. It's just like another drag song. I'm not. Yeah. There is no shame in it that this is like a play at the streaming landscape. You know what I mean? So it's like I literally have songs set aside for like more conceptual albums and stuff, and then I just have like these fun little EP projects where it's just a dope beat and me rapping, and if I feel like it, a hook in between, and I'm gonna start putting those out. But I mean, I'm gonna do it in a way where each song is gonna come out like every other week, and then at the end of that, the whole thing will come out as a collection. But Keep That Little Smugs out now, and I'd say around March I'm gonna drop the next one that's called Blackmail, and yeah. and go from there. And then I'm also going to start performing more because that used to be my bread and butter, doing live performances, but I kind of shut that down when I met my old lady and started doing the streaming things. But I'm going to start getting on the road again, so I'll start playing Southeast, Northeast, that sort of thing. Try to get out west when I can, but I will definitely be up around y'all's neck of the woods soon. So, well, at least Tanner. I don't know. Where are you?
That's what's up.
I'm in Florida at the moment.
Okay, word. So you're close to me. I'll definitely be there.
Yeah.
What part?
Right on. Right on.
You're about to be leaving.
Yeah, I'm going to Europe and,
to live or like
for the next. Yeah, we have a house in Romania.
Oh, dope.
And so the next few months I'm kind of going to be bopping around over there.
Okay,
that area.
Dope.
Bopping around. He's doing his
bopping around.
continent bopping.
I know that bop.
Yeah, Clark, Canada Claus and I were just talking about 420 up at Niagara Falls. So
what was that like?
Yeah,
April 26th, we got a big festival up here, the Niagara 420 Expo.
Oh, dope.
We always do it on the Saturday closest to 420. But this year that's on Easter weekend, so we moved it the week after.
Oh, dope.
So it's like a big open space. We have a patio, and we had Afro Man come up here and a couple years ago.
Afro Man came down to Savannah a couple years ago, and I opened up for him.
Nice.
Yeah,
that was fun.
Nice guy, man. Really nice guy.
Yeah, that was fun. I lined up like all the weed songs, and I was like, all right, we're just gonna have fun with this.
Yeah, and then we have we get celebrities and we got free samples of weed, and there's all kinds of bongs, glass art. But there's more importantly, there's information sessions. We too got interrupted by COVID.
Yeah,
for a couple of years. So we've had to rebuild. The first year back, there was not nearly, maybe a quarter of the people that we had.
Yeah.
The first year that we did it. But we're back up to good numbers now. We've been legal in Canada now for 6 years, I think it is, solid. Maybe something like that anyway. And this will be the 7th year, yeah. And so it's a lot less stigma, but it's legal across the entire country, right? So the cannabis we get now is the stuff before legalization was good, was what I thought was the best. But now that the micro growers, like if you go back, look some of our episodes, the Smoker Farms guys, the old legacy growers that are no longer growing in a basement under a street light are growing with the highest tech that they can get their hands on, and consultants that are teaching them new stuff. And it's even blowing them away, the weed that they're growing. They're like, I've never seen this plant that I've been growing for 25 years get this fucking big. And so like everything's changing so much in like not just the music industry, but in that. So it's great to see, and people can grow it at home, and not looking over your shoulder all the time. And we have these big festivals, and I give up and I give speeches or panels, I think they call them. I don't give speeches because I talk. I take questions from the audience. And I host panels and interview people. And I think we're going to try to do an episode of Beyond the Haze live from there.
Nice.
I'm definitely going to do one. We'll do one where I'm at least live from there on 426. But it'd be nice if the other parts of this could make it there.
Yeah, for sure.
But
we'll talk about it for sure.
Yeah, we did. And then we have the patio where we have local artists, like musicians, come out and they play on the patio. They busk. we pay them, make sure they get what they're supposed to get, but then we busk, and all the money goes to charity.
Nice.
Nice.
So
Is it like different charity each time?
yeah, it's a different charity each time. It's usually it's not a kids charity. It's usually a homeless type charity, or we have some issues up here in Canada with mental health and lack of funding and attention to it. So that results in all kinds of other social economic issues that like food banks are and things like that. So whatever is needed around the time they make a choice. I'd love to give to children's charities. If we do, which we have, it's for things like kids with cancer and research for things like that, because cannabis.
Is there still stigma with cannabis, like charities to like children's things?
Like you wouldn't want to, if you donated to like a hockey team or a kids baseball team, there'd be some backlash. But when you donate to like cancer research for cannabis use as medicine to cure children like of epilepsy or any of those things, no, man, they throw extra money in the bin when they see that.
Okay.
And nobody gives you backlash. Not the regulatory agencies or nothing. So, but it's like alcohol. You don't want alcohol, sponsoring kids hockey either, right?
Well, here's the funny thing, right? Because like, I wouldn't. But like, I feel like we're just like a year or two away from like some sports betting shit sponsoring a kid's like hockey team for real. You know what I mean?
True. Yeah, man. That's not that crazy to say. I could definitely see FanDuel.
Yeah, that's
being
exactly
posted
right.
somewhere all across
major league. So why not? Like Pete Rose before he died was like, his last words were "fucking FanDuel."
And now the Musketeers will be back, brought to you by FanDuel.
the first year when they
Get your bets in now.
all the people that were on there advertising these betting things, when the commercial ended, you were watching them play, and you're like, oh no, this ain't fixed, not at all.
Yeah,
right?
Me and my girl have been on a binge of the old like '60s Twilight Zone episodes, and I hate to. I'm just honestly, when I'm watching like NBA shit or even just like YouTube and like all this like gambling, it feels like some Twilight Zone shit. Not that I personally have any particular like, oh, I hate gambling or anything. It's not like that. It's just my whole life I grew up that there was kind of like a gambling's not the best idea, you know what I mean? Like vibe around society in general. So it just really like to be inundated with like every celebrity is like, no, bet on sports. It's like, man, should I be doing this? It's like the gambling now I feel is like cigarette smoking was back in like the 50s, you know what I mean? Like it's in every movie, every celebrity's
cool
doing it,
again.
and like 20 years from now it's gonna be like, damn, that was the worst idea that we ever had.
I was watching a hockey game last night, and the third period was coming to an end, and the one commentator said to the other commentator, "Didn't you have this in-game parlay tonight?"
That's just
Boom, boom, boom. He said, "Well, yeah, I did. So you hit all four. Good for you." And he says, "Oh yeah, every once in a while I get, And I'm like, you fucking guys are sitting in the booth in the game, betting on the game you're calling.
yeah.
That's nuts. Yeah.
Nothing
And
wrong
I'm
there.
sitting here, and winning tickets.
Yeah. I mean, it really makes you, every time that I see somebody uncharacteristically have a bad game now, fair or unfair, in the back of my head, I'm like,
There's going to be that.
You know?
That's what
There's
comes
a
with it.
phantom roughing the passer call in an NFL game.
Exactly.
Or
And we've seen that. I mean, come on, we all watched the Netflix documentary on what's his face fixing
or
the
a
NBA
first
games.
down doesn't get
Uh-huh.
called, even when they
Uh-huh.
review it on instant replay and everybody can see that's a first down. No, it's not.
Yeah.
But the one ref said it was. Doesn't matter. Shut up. Sit down. It's not a first call. I got a FanDuel ticket, motherfucker.
It's like if mobsters who didn't need the money were like fixing games and shit. What makes you think billionaires that don't need the money aren't like fixing games and
Yeah,
shit? You know what
right?
I mean? Like,
The ref who does need the money
exactly.
because you got a
Isn't gonna
business. It is
Yeah.
not a first down.
We're a minute away from people watching the score change in front of them, like while you're watching.
Yeah.
And the announcer's just not saying anything. Like, yeah, no, I don't know if you guys are talking about it. No, they lost.
So was there Spacebar mentioned something?
Well, we have another track. Of
Oh,
yours.
word.
We'll kind of use that to take out the episode here. We'll use that as our outro. Hopefully we have some stuff coming up in the near future.
Yeah.
Can't say too much yet, but we'll hopefully be dropping some stuff. But yeah, is there anything else that that you've got coming up, or we didn't talk about that you wanted to make sure you got a plug in on?
Well, follow me on all of the socials. Knife is Dope on TikTok, Instagram. Follow me on Spotify, Dope Knife on Spotify. That's where you're going to be getting the bulk of the music. And I'm putting out visuals for stuff on the Dope Knife TV on YouTube, so check that out. I do have a podcast that's no longer running, but I co-hosted it with my friend Mariah Parker, who is also a rapper herself, lingua franca. And she's also was the county commissioner of Athens, Georgia. And we had a podcast called Waiting on Reparations. It was a hip hop and politics podcast. There are 86 episodes. You guys can go check them out there if you want to hear my views about some other stuff. But yeah, I'm just check me out. Look out for what I'm doing. I'm gonna probably bring that podcast back in a certain capacity with a video element. It's gonna still be a hip hop and politics podcast, but the way that whole thing kind of went since I was producing it was whatever the fuck I wanted to do on a particular episode sort of podcast. So possibly might get you guys on there and we can shoot some shit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What's up? That'd be great.
What's up?
Well, man, we appreciate you coming on and closing out the. This is the end of our season here.
Oh,
This is
shit.
The 10th episode
I'm on
end
the
of season 1.
season
this is-
finale?
This is the finale.
Oh, shit.
Man. This
Season
is what
finale.
everyone's going to remember your face,
Hey.
baby
And
face.
Thank you guys for having me. Yo, this is dope. For real, like it was good seeing you again, Tanner. For me and Tanner go back to 2003. That is over.
Long time.
Oh my god, yo.
I know, man. I know.
Like and because I traveled from place to place when I was a kid, all of my like long-term friends are like people that I met in my 20s. You know what I mean? So it's like I don't have
Nice one.
I have like one friend who's like, oh, I've known him since I was a little kid. All of my other friends are like my rap homeboys that I met in that period of time. So thank you for having me on the show, Tanner, man. I appreciate it. Or Spacebar, I should say.
Absolutely, man. Yes, it's all good. It's all good.
Remember back when you used to go by Blue Collar, but we won't mention that.
That was my rap name, Blue Collar. It made
Nice
sense.
one.
I came from Milwaukee. That was who I was. All right, so yeah, we're gonna. This is Who Got the Props.
Yeah. So
What's the name of the
So
song?
I have a little thing that I do in every set. It's kind of like my circus trick, but since I freestyle, I do the whole everybody bring, random items up to the stage, and I'm gonna make a song out of it. But since my shit is on point, it usually sounds like some written shit. And for the longest time, people were like, man, you should make that into a song. So I made it into a song. The verses are not freestyle, even though I should just lie and say that they are. But the verses aren't freestyle. But yeah, this is for that 200 people I was talking about who have been fucking with me for a long time. This is
They know
to
what this is.
serve them. I finally recorded Who Got the Props, and yeah, so the world can hear it now too.
As soon as I saw the title, the first thing in my head is, oh, he finally made a fucking song.
It's funny, you know, like it's funny when you're uploading your shit and for distribution and shit like that. You pitch it to the Spotify playlist editors and shit. I wrote this long shit about like, this is the first off the top freestyle song. You guys have never experienced anything like this. Is a complete freestyle off the dome, I promise.
All righty.
Thank you guys.
Absolutely. And Canna Claus and Tripto, it was a pleasure wrapping up this season. Looking forward to the next one.
Goes out to the whole damn crew. Representing for the click, dope sandwich. Fuck 'em all day, fuck 'em all night. We don't love your flows. Who got the props? Who got the props? And every time I'm ripping it, I'm making it hot, my nigga. Who got the props? Who got the props? Yeah. Scatter pages from my book of rhymes, spread the flow for a mile. These niggas so in denial, they throw in the towel. I take rap to places it ain't got to go in a while. So to me, ciphers kinda look like Golden Corral. Fuck a watch with the words, how I'm showing my style. Begging for your life, but I tell you no with a smile. Nigga, we the opposite. You rapping to make a profit quick. I'm just a prophet who really needs a psychologist. Fuck making it obvious and taking a stand. And my show ain't got no thick bitches shaking it fast. I got a bunch of graph writers who escape in a flash. Cause they names up and cops keep chasing their ass. These niggas making a dance, got no space in their pants. With some corny ass beats, got you thinking it's trance. You could make it romance, keep banging your gat. Just make sure whatever you saying ain't whack, nigga. Who got the props? Yeah, who got the props? When I'm in your neighborhood, I'm making it hot, my nigga. Who got the props? Who got the props? Knife in your area, like it or not, I'm saying who got the props? Who got the props? Body in the house from the bottom to top, we saying who got the props? Who got the props? Don't play me for a big fool, trying to let the world know. Even got the drip too, pippin' in the fur coat. Hit you with a big stool while I'm sipping Merlot. You listening to Tim Pool, probably call your girl bro. I ain't wonder, rhyme when I'm in slumber. Mama will whoop my ass, my music, I hide it from her. Bury these rappers not in a casket but lying under. Like it's riding the lightning and beat is supplying thunder. That MPC funk is made for a boombox. You motherfuckers spitting like some rappers in Boondocks. The risk taker, reach in your mouth like Britt Baker. Rip your jaw out if it means I'ma get paper. Though who got the props? Yeah, who got the props? When I'm in your neighborhood, I'm making it hot, my nigga. Who got the props? Who got the props? Knife in your area, like it or not, I'm saying who got the props? Who got the props? Body in the house from the bottom to top, we saying